You gotta use that FaceTime, well, yeah. Well, you gotta use that FaceTime, well. When you get up on that soapbox, when you gotta tell the tale, you gotta use that FaceTime, well. I'm the one you run to unload a heavy heart. I'm happy knowing I can do the same, yeah. Maybe it's 'cause I'm naive, I assume that I'm the one you need, but the doubt comes when you call me by her name. Well, you gotta use that FaceTime, well, yeah. Oh, you gotta use that FaceTime, well. When you get up on that soapbox, when you gotta tell the tale, oh, you gotta use that FaceTime, well. You tell me that there's someone that you miss who isn't me. Do you understand why I might take offense? Maybe it's 'cause I'm naive, I assume that I'm the one you need. How can your heart still be on the fence? Oh, you gotta use that FaceTime, well, yeah. Oh, you gotta use that FaceTime, well. When you get up on that soapbox, when you gotta tell the tale, oh, you gotta use that FaceTime, well. Do you recognize the suitcase by the door? Well, it's mine, not hers, and I'm gonna use it if you keep this up much more. It's really not that hard to figure out. Well, if you don't, I'll tell you, I'll be just another ex to talk about. Yeah, yeah. Every time you open up your mouth, I brace myself. I'm hoping that you'll shower me with love, yeah. I'm sorry that she got away. Seems that every single day a ghost is looming closely up above. Well, you never use that FaceTime, well. No, you never use that FaceTime, well. Baby, I don't wanna hear it, so here's our sad farewell. Oh, you never use that FaceTime, well. Oh, you never use that FaceTime, well. Well, you never use that FaceTime, well.
Tracy Kash, welcome to the Ferndale Library.
Thank you so much. It's our pleasure to be here.
That seemed like a great opening track to start your show with. It's actually the opening track on your latest album. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. This album came out about 1.5 years ago. It's called Fierce. And it was actually, it had been a few years since I had done a recording. So I figured, oh, it's time. I've got all this music. We're just gonna go for it. I felt fierce, so that's why I kept, came up with the name. Just, didn't want to hold back. And I'm very proud of this record. There's some nice music. There's gorgeous playing. My friend here, Pat Shanley, is on there, and some other phenomenal Detroit musicians who just, really made it what it is.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So, thank you.
And you've got a flute next to you. We can't wait to.
I do. Oh, I didn't bring that. I don't know where that came. No, I'm teasing. Yeah.
We have so much to talk about, and we're also so excited to hear more music. What song are you going to play next for us?
Let me look at my little handy list here. Doing that. Oh, if try. Okay, this is kind of a nice little, kind of a calypso-y type number. Easy going. Oh, and it is on Fierce, as my mother just reminded me. My manager, sorry, manager. Oh my God, they're going to have to do so much editing. I'm so sorry. If I had my way, I would take you away tonight. Without apology, where everybody can see, right out in plain sight. Well, if I knew a way we could make our getaway alright, yeah. But this fear won't let me stop. It overpowers my own heart. If I had my way, I would take you away tonight. Well, if I played the game and I weren't so tired, I'd play. If you feel the same, won't you tell me as much? I don't know what to say. Well, if I'm in or out, won't you hear me or shout my way, my way? It's just fear shutting us out, and it rattles, shakes, and shouts. If I played the game and I weren't so tired, I'd play. Hold on, don't make me rush this thing, whatever it is. Hold on. Second thought, let's move things along. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's all I've got. Do we do this or not? Your call, your call. It's so hard to know how to really let go when you're afraid to fall. So honey, take my hand and we'll find a new plan somehow, somehow. Don't let fear fill up your heart. A single step is still a start. Well, that's all I've got. Do we do this or not? Your call, it's your call. Oh, call me. If I had my way, I would take you away tonight.
Bravo!
Thank you.
You don't have an audience, but I want to give you roaring applause.
Yeah, I'm feeling the roar.
Now, you recently, that album you put out was nominated for a Detroit Music Award, and that was in the category of world music.
It was.
Now, and I think that's sort of maybe a response to how you are kind of everything at once. Can you talk about your genres? Jazz, soul.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I don't know if we have enough time.
But you started in classical.
I started in classical. My mother was a wonderful piano player and a piano teacher, so I just sort of by default ended up learning music from her. And she and my dad were always huge jazz fans. There was always jazz playing, and my sister was really into, like, Ian Anderson and The Who, so I just ended up all over the place. So my degree, I went to music school and ended up, going to a wonderful college that had a really good balance of all kinds of those things. Classical, jazz, some new music, very experimental, a lot of like soul and R&B. And I just sort of, and I love all of it, so
right.
I could never really pick. It's so funny. I was a symphony musician for a while, playing flute and piccolo, and just learned that I love to write my own music.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of drew from all of those influences, and that's kind of how I wound up where I am.
Yeah, there's so many directions you could have gone in with all those influences, but you've come to make something that's really palatable, harmonious, very enticing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
If I had all those influences in my head, I would find it hard to focus. That's what I'm saying.
I do. I often do, honestly. Yeah, that's it's a great observation. Sometimes I do. I'm like, oh, what should I do now? Practice piano, do this. And then sometimes I find myself almost debilitated because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. I think a lot of, artsy people like us sometimes, get stuck in that rut occasionally. But
what song do you want to play next for us?
Okay. Moments. Okay. Speaking of influences, this kind of draws from something. I'm not sure what. Could be a little bit of Fiddler on the Roof. This is called Moments. Well, it's those moments, those little moments, those little gems that always mean the world to me. Oh, so much action is somehow packed in to a small fraction of a lifetime's worthy fee. When you look at me while floating through the crowd and our eyes meet, I just want to shout out loud. It's the moments just like this that really no one can resist unless you're dead and lying cold beneath a shroud. It can be so very simple as a look or a wicked ending to a trashy book. Even conversations overheard can shatter me with every word and send me where I don't know where to look. See, it's those moments, those little moments, those little gems that always mean the world to me. Have so much action somehow packed in to a small fraction of a lifetime's worthy fee. See, it's those moments, those little moments, something nobody can ever take away. For just that moment, for the torment. And I just know that things will never be the same. All these moments by themselves don't seem like much. They are small things like a wink or a smile or touch. When I add them all together, they just hitch me from my tether. And to look upon them all just makes me blush. See, it's those moments, those little moments, these little gems that always mean the world to me. Just those moments for the torment, just a ending of a lifetime's worthy fee. See, it's those moments, those little moments, it's something nobody can ever take away. Just that moment before the torment. I just know that things will never same. Flying high above it all, looking down on life. It's all so big, hard to focus on. But it always gives me hope when peering through my microscope to see those moments that in concert spur me on. So when you think your life is empty and no good, if you don't think you live the life you thought you would, simply scrapbook all those moments. Even you might seek atonement, 'cause you squeezed all out of life a person could. With just those moments, those little moments, those little gems that always mean the world to me. Just that moment for the torment is just a jackpot in a lifetime's worthy fee. See, it's those moments, those little moments, something nobody can ever take away. For just that moment, for the torrent, I just know that things will never be the same. Yes, I just know that things will never be the same.
That's kind of a showstopper. Well, the next question should go to Pat. And Pat, what was kind of cool is she said Fiddler on the Roof, but some of your guitar work on that almost felt country.
Yeah, it just kind of felt that way to me.
Yeah. How about your influences, sir?
My influence, I would say a lot of like R&B, old school soul, blues, that kind of thing. And, jazz, but kind of the cool period jazz.
Okay.
Like, I'm not like a shredder, bebopper, that kind of, more like, more like a kind of Blue Miles kind of thing.
Terrific. How long have you been playing with Tracy?
I don't know. I can't remember. It's been a long time.
Geez, it's probably been, it's at least 10 years, 12 years.
At least.
Yeah.
That's great.
When I met Pat, his youngest kid was just born, and now he's 14. So
no, she's 17.
He's 13. You're younger.
My younger one. Yeah, sorry. Sorry. Bad dad.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was a fun time. That seems like a fun song to play. And that I have to say that first song had an amazing solo. So,
well, thank you very much.
How long have you been playing?
Thank you.
How young were you when you started playing guitar?
I kind of came to it kind of late. I used to play drums for years before, and I just kind of like drifted into guitar. I was probably like 16, 17, right around there.
Nice.
And then self-taught, and then after I kind of got my way around the fretboard a little bit, then I went and took some formal lessons, figuring probably be a good idea if I knew the names of the chords that I was playing, that kind of thing. And then I'm still kind of learning. I've learned tons from Tracy and hanging out with her and some of her musical heavyweight friends. So I was kind of like, baptism of fire kind of thing. So I started working with her, and then with all these like hugely learned musicians, I was like, boy, I really had learned to raise my game quite a bit. But
get good fast.
Yeah.
Well, so, Tracy, what's next?
Couldn't be happier.
Oh, that's nice. Pat's one of the hardest working people I know. I'm going to do a song called In the Mezzanine. It's the next tune. Something that I wrote years and years ago when I was married. And I guess it still applies, but like in a different way. Anyway, it's interesting how music does that. All right. Let me get the right page. scratch here. Ready?
Hmm.
Things that used to frighten me, I don't think twice about. Things I thought I needed, I'm truly glad to have without. Not as young as I once was, not as old as I'll ever be, hopefully. I know the up from down, the left from right, the alternates. No matter how you play the game, it's always fun to win. And I know where I belong, it's where I wrote that song, don't you say? I've moved myself out of a mosh pit into the mezzanine. I think that I would prefer to be heard, never seen. I know that you will be waiting for me in the mezzanine. I know that you will be there, you'll be there in the Life takes you where it wants to, never mind about your plans. If you let it in and let it take you by the hand, it'll take you to a place you never thought you'd face. Otherwise, I think about the days ahead and days already gone. When you look back, you realize the mosh pit's wasted on the young. You know just what I mean, but you just look so green to me. I moved myself out of the mosh pit into the mezzanine. I think that I would prefer to be heard and never seen. I know that you will be waiting for me in the mezzanine. I know that you will be there, you'll be there in the mezzanine. I'll be in the mezzanine.
I'll be in the mezzanine.
I'll be in the mezzanine.
In the mezzanine.
I'll be in the mezzanine.
I'll be in the mezzanine.
I'll be in. Thank you. Thank you
That-
so much.
That song sounds like it should be on a movie soundtrack. I feel like I could see a scene before the credits rolling of like
Wow.
Hugh Jackman catching up to Julia Roberts in the rain. That's a
Nice.
yeah. I also like that that was a song that I would put in the almost tearjerker category.
Yeah.
And yet it also mentions mosh pits.
It's just how we roll. The mosh pit's wasted on the young.
One of my new favorite lyrics for sure. Maybe tell us a bit, because that song made me just think of songwriting. So do you work a lot of songs out on your own on the piano and bring it to the band? How does it usually go?
For the most part, yes. I used to start. I pretty much do, all the changes, the melody, the lyrics, and I bring it to the band, and they help me arrange it and, put their own spin on it. I hate to, hyper arrange things, especially with the amazing musicians like Pat that I work with, because they just, they know what works on their instruments, what sounds good, and so I really trust them a lot.
Yeah, sometimes organically it can become even a better song with the input.
Yeah, that's very true.
Well, we'd love to hear another one. What's the next one you're going to play?
I don't know.
I Love Me More.
Ooh, little heart achy breaky song here.
Oh, yeah?
Fierce is getting quite the workout today.
It is.
So far, all these. That last one was on Fierce. This one is lots more.
What was this one called, Pat?
This one we're going to do, Love Me More, or I Love Me More.
Actually, just had here a second ago. There it is. Yeah, this song is, it's one of those cathartic tunes. You have to be careful when you know songwriters. If you upset them, they might write things like this. This is called, be really careful.
Look out.
Look out. This is called I Love Me More. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. You always tell me you love me, but we know better than that. You spend time just trying to convince me. On my ears, your words just fall flat. The road to your house was my favorite to travel on. She could never wait to send me on my way. As time went on, I was the only white-eyed one. It's no surprise our blue skies turned to gray. Yeah, yeah. I love you. I do, my dear. Well, you love you. You've made that abundantly clear. It's time you knew, yeah. I'm done keeping score. Can you hear it? Can you bear it? I just love me more. I love me more, yeah. You've got this Jekyll and Hyde thing. It's really driving me mad. I never know who's in front of me. We can't seem to launch from this pad, no. I was so blind to the machine you put me through, but I'm waking up and eyes are open wide. I'll just move on and now we'll leave you to yourselves. I'm tired of waiting for you to decide or to divide. I love you. I do, my dear. Well, you love you. You've made that abundantly clear. Well, it's time you knew, yeah. I'm done keeping score. Can you hear it? Can you bear it? I just love me more. I love me more.
I love you.
I love me more.
I love you.
I love me more.
love me more.
I love you.
I was so blind to the machine you put me through. Now I'm waking up and eyes are open wide. I'll just move on and I will leave you to yourselves. I'm tired of waiting for you to divide. Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, I love you. I do, my dear. Well, you love you, yeah. You made that abundantly clear. It's time you knew, yeah. I'm done keeping score. Can you hear it? Can you bear it? I just love me more.
I know we're in an empty library right now, but I bet that's one that gets the crowd going.
I think it does, yeah. It's been a while since we've done it live.
I feel like I could almost hear the drums in the chorus filling that in. That's like...
It's kind of a little bit of a rocker.
A little bit of a rocker, but then it has a soft bridge.
Yeah.
Again, that variety. That's a great song.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I wanted to... Because there was just so much energy in your vocals in that, especially in that one. Can you tell me, I guess we talked about the genres you're into. Were there any vocalists that you were into?
Oh, so many. Just all over the place. When I was in college, I had to think, I loved the whole thing with Shaka Khan and Rufus Reid. I loved that. Just so grooved so hard. I loved Diana Reeves, like all the good soul singers. Marvin Gaye, Temptations just always killed me. Oh, just so good. A lot of soul influences, soul R&B. Yeah, so many influences. It's hard to think of them all.
Me.
And then
Pat,
of course. Pat, it's cool to learn that you picked up the guitar late in life. You just seem like a natural over there.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it was
great rhythm guitaring over there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I for playing drums for so long, I think it helped me as a guitar player. And, I really don't know what happened. I think I just couldn't play my favorite song on the drums. I just couldn't musically get the notes out. So figured, okay, well, maybe I'll try this.
Tracy, what's next?
I'm going to do kind of a little jazzy one. This is called Buried Treasure. Do I have that right? I think I do.
Yeah.
And you might just hear some flute on this one.
Oh, yeah.
You're the music of my heart, the soundtrack to my soul. You're the rarest gem in life's tiara. Baby, please don't stop me, 'cause I think we're on a roll. There is nothing else I've been more sure of. I will wait for you. There's no one else I've made this promise to. Like a buried treasure, I keep digging this hole. Like a bad addiction, there's no giving this up. Can't walk away from the games that we play and play and play almost every day.
Like a ballerina, always whip on my toes, falling on my face at any minute. You don't make it easy, but it's worth it all the same. Can't find my mistake, I'm neck deep in it. Tell me, where are you? Where are you, baby? You're like a wall that there's no talking to. Like a buried treasure, I keep digging this up. Like a bad addiction, there's no giving this up. Can't walk away from the games that we play almost every day. I can't hold on much longer. What are you waiting for? Baby, won't you tell me, 'cause I'm going insane. Like a buried treasure, I keep digging this up. Like a bad addiction, there's no giving this up. Can't walk away from the games that we play almost every day. Yeah, like a buried treasure, I keep digging this up. Like a bad addiction, there's no giving this up. Can't walk away from the games that we play almost every day.
Always nice to hear a flute.
Well, thank you.
Good to hear, and it's beautiful flute. Now, how long have you been playing the flute? Was that your first instrument?
Piano was my first instrument, and I started playing flute when I was, oh God, how old was I? I think I was 11 because I knew I wanted to be in the junior high band, but didn't know what to do. So my dad taught me because he could like pick up any instrument and just learn it. He was amazing. So the first tune I learned on flute was Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting by Elton John, because that's just how the Kashes roll.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's always good to hear a flute. Outside of jazz, where else are you gonna hear it besides Jethro Tull or Van Morrison? Maybe.
Yeah, right. But, I know. It's out there. It's kind of out there in dribs and drabs.
Do you have a website, places people can find you? Tell us all about it.
I sure do. The website is tracykash.com, and Kash is spelled with a K. And I have 4 records available, and you can find them all right there for purchase or download, and we have there's a Facebook page. There's all kinds of stuff. So we're out there. Who isn't here? Yeah, I do. There's my bass player, Chuck Bartels, who I haven't seen in a while because, for obvious reasons. And my drummer, I have 2 different drummers that we work with who are just both equally brilliant and amazing. Van Huntsberger, who's just a phenomenal player. Great. He's kind of like me, all over the place. Jazz, pop, rock, everything. He's so good. Does a lot of world music, and which you can kind of hear on the record. He uses a lot of different percussion. And then the other drummer, who's a wonderful lady, Karen Tamales, who's just wonderful. So they're both great to work with. I wish I could have them both on every gig.
This guy over here is pretty good too, though.
He's not bad.
Yeah.
This is Pat Shanley, wonderful guitar player, plays mandolin, sings, does a whole lot of stuff.
Seems to be shy. We have time for one more. What would you like to take us out on?
Party.
Party.
Or, yeah? Okay.
Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with it.
That's an encouraging title.
I have a feeling there's a story about this song.
I would love to hear a story about a song called Party.
This is called You Can't Come to My Party.
Okay.
I actually wrote this. People always ask me what it's about, and I'm kind of reluctant to get too much into it because I was just having like a day where I was being 5. So basically just about, as I'm sure you all will know, politics and music, and turns into a beauty parade and you just get tired of it. And so this is called You Can't Come to My Party. And it's just sort of where this came from.
Excellent.
I don't know if that helps or hurts.
Just the other day, I felt I left out just like in junior high. Just one of the uncool kids that made me wanna cry. If you don't want me there, well that suits me just fine. 'Cause I'm gonna throw a party and you can't come to mine. No honey, you can't come to my party. Sorry you can't come. Sorry you can't come. Well, it'll be so fine with pretty boys swinging from vines. Oh yeah, sorry you can't come to mine. Well, I'd like to think my invite just got lost in the mail. All the other guests got theirs without fail. I don't know what to think, I don't know what to do. Maybe that's your way of telling me we're through. Well, I'm gonna throw a shindig like you've never seen. And guess who's not invited? You see what I mean? Well, honey, you can't come to my party. Sorry you can't come. You can't come to my party, no. Sorry you can't come, no. It'll be so fine with pretty boys swinging from vines, oh yeah. Sorry you can't come to mine. It's gonna be sweet, it's gonna be wild, with conga lines stretching out for miles and miles. We'll be tearing up the dance floor and wailing the blues. At the end I'll pin the tail on whatever I choose, oh yeah. That's just how we party, isn't it, Pat? See, I'm busy swinging with a new boy from a vine.
Sorry you can't come to mine. Be so fine with pretty boys swinging from the vines. Sorry you can't come to mine. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for having us. Too fun. So much fun.